Welcome to the Killing Podcast, Episode 3, El Diablo.
Ooh, El Diablo.
I am your host, Martha Southgate, and with me is...
Your other host, Rob Southgate. It's in spirit of El Diablo. I had to roll my R's.
El Dorco.
El Dorco. I am El Dorco. Yeah. Chacho, get me your sweats.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
What?
Every time I say it, I want to say welcome to Fantasy Island. I am Mr. Rourke, your host.
Oh, I'm glad we're having so much fun with this because this was such a lighthearted episode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I never want to see rain again.
Yeah.
There's so much rain.
So maybe we should start every episode with a forecast of what we're going to see in this. I'm predicting rain.
Rain and lots of crying.
Yeah.
And misery.
Oh, gosh.
And ugly sweaters.
Ugly sweaters. I liked her second sweater. You didn't
It
like
was
her
better
second
than the first sweater.
Okay.
So, we start out in the pouring rain.
Yes. Yes, and it has Richmond, and he's in the car, and there are... no, the last one left off with Sarah and Holder in the cage.
Yes.
And I thought it was going to immediately start with that, but instead we start out with Richmond.
With Darren. I refer to him as Darren through the rest of my notes.
Okay, so I call him Richmond.
Just so you know.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll figure it out.
Same person.
Anyway, they're in the car, and they get out, and it's pouring rain, and they get mobbed by reporters, and they're all asking about Rosie. So obviously...
It broke.
The story broke.
Yeah, it broke bad.
This is not good. A reporter yells out to him as he's going in, "Does this remind you of what happened to your wife, Councilman?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We're getting a glimpse.
I want to know what happened to his wife.
Yeah.
I want to know how deep this goes, what the story is. I mean, was he accused in something that happened to his wife? Is that who he's seeing at the cemetery?
Right. Well, I'm assuming. We
assume that's who it is. Yeah. But was she murdered?
Well, he gets quite mad.
Yeah.
And he says, an innocent child is dead. So he's trying to keep them focused and not paying attention to him personally.
Right.
Which is interesting because. Does that mean then that there's a connection?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things that are already happening on here that, I start looking at the different suspects and you start saying, well, could he be a suspect? Or could somebody on his team be a suspect? Or now I'm wondering, is somebody involved with the mayor a suspect? Mm-hmm. And that would make sense with this.
Or
because
is the mayor.
Right.
We don't know.
Right, but if let's say it's somebody from the mayor's camp that did this with the mayor's knowledge, setting up Richmond. They stole his car, they put the body in it. It's very bad for Richmond. It very much would negatively affect his campaign as we're seeing it happen. Mm-hmm. And normally I would think, okay, that's a little too conspiracy, a little too much of that.
It is.
But there's a scene where he talks to the mayor. And it turns out the mayor is kind of in the pocket of, the unions. And you go, wait a minute, is there maybe a little mob connection here? Is this...
What episode was that?
This was tonight, they said it.
So you jumped ahead.
Oh, spoiler.
You rotten man.
Spoiler for a show that
Well,
was
how
on
sad is it that I had
ago.
to ask you what episode it was in?
Yeah, that's pretty sad.
That was in tonight's? No, I'm kidding. All right. Yeah.
So where are we?
Pretty much. We're there. He's just trying to get them to focus, and he said, we're doing everything we can to help the police and the family in order to,
right.
To
he's saying the right
this.
things. He's saying the right politically correct things. Mm-hmm. Hey, we're doing what we can. Let's let this go. Mm-hmm. Which his advisors aren't really into.
Right.
They're saying stop giving them fodder. Mm-hmm. But, he's giving them fodder. So now we see Sarah.
Wait, there's one other line that he says here that's really important because they show it again and you see Sarah's reaction to it. but he says the car was stolen, and he says that's all the police are allowing me to say.
Oh, right.
So he's giving information.
Right.
Trying to
But he's
clear
trying to
his name.
he's trying to make it look like the police are to blame for him not saying anything.
Exactly. It's not my fault. I'm not allowed to talk about it.
Hey, I'm innocent here, and when I reveal it, you'll know I'm innocent, but the police won't let me talk about it. So, yeah, it was a well-played thing
Well played,
he did
sir.
there.
Well played.
Yeah, okay. So, back to it. So,
Meanwhile,
Sarah...
back in the cage.
Oh, I never want to hear that. Sarah is in the cage exactly as we left her last episode. She's got that look. She's processing.
She's got the sweater.
She's staring at the bloody sheet that's there.
Yeah.
I like how this happened because it pulled away and you saw her still looking at it. Then she started kind of looking around the room, and it looked like her eye was caught by that weird decoration that was hanging there. And behind it was all dark, and all of a sudden, into focus comes a little hole.
Well, she put her hand on the wall.
Did she feel it? I thought she kind of saw it.
She put her hand on the wall, and I was thinking, weren't there bloody handprints?
That was on the other side of the room.
Okay, so I was just, that's all I could remember from the last episode. I thought, well, maybe she's just touching the wall.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, you see the hole.
Right.
And then she sticks her eyeball, and you see her eyeball from the other side.
Yeah.
As they're...
No, you didn't see an eyeball from the other side. I just agreed with you. No, Martha.
I saw an eyeball.
That was Devil's Backbone, when the kid looks through the keyhole and all of a sudden the ghost eye is
No,
there.
that's what I was expecting.
Yeah, but that's not what happened.
The camera panned and you saw her looking through the hole.
Oh, okay.
What did you think I meant?
I thought you meant that it was an eye on the other side looking at her because...
No, we saw her eye from the other side of the wall.
You said when we were watching it was like, oh, there's going to be an eyeball on the other side. That's what I thought you were doing.
I thought there'd be a face, a whole head, not just
a whole head in that little hole?
No, but she'd be looking...
a little pinhead?
She's looking through the hole, and then she sees the whole head.
Oh, no, it's a whole head!
Yeah.
Just a big floating head?
Okay, if you look through your door thing...
Your door thing.
Your peephole in the door.
Okay.
On your front door. We don't have one, but in our apartments...
Okay, if we look,
and then if you could see a whole body.
Wait, I have to imagine so much here. I'm imagining a peephole.
Oh my gosh!
And
do you remember that? But you'd see a whole body. But I think that involved mirrors or something.
You know so much about peepholes.
No, I don't.
I think you were too short to even look through the peephole.
I was, and then I was too scared. Because I think, oh my gosh, there's going to be somebody I don't know. You know, there's going to be the killer on the other side.
The killer. Whenever you would look through the peephole, somebody would look back.
Right, and that scared me.
Okay. But that didn't happen here. Why are we
talking about this? Okay.
I don't know.
So you see her eye looking through.
Right. And then it cuts to the opening credits.
Yeah.
So
I think I was alluding to the fact that there was a room there, that there was...
Correct.
That you could...
Well, obviously, if there's a hole and they're looking through and it's facing right where the action went down...
Well, yeah, but she didn't know that.
But that she was looking for it. She was looking for it. She was looking to see what else could be going on. And as soon as she saw that hole, she knew that was a peephole. Yes.
Not... What are the ones called in the door?
Nope.
What's it called?
Nope.
I just want to know. It's not called a peephole.
It is called a peephole.
What's that called in the hotel room?
A peephole.
No.
Yeah, it is.
I think it's got a better name.
It's a peephole. Listen. We're moving on from this. We're moving on, and I know what's going to happen.
I have to Google.
You have to Google it.
I have to Google.
Oh, this is the worst.
I have to Google it right now.
Okay, well, I'm going to move on. So when the show starts back up, they start talking about what was happening down in this cage. Mm-hmm. And it's the lieutenant. He's talking about it. We're back at the police
Well, you see
station.
the crime... No. First you see the crime scene investigators are scouring it.
Yeah, we're not at the police station.
No, we're not
still
at
there.
the police station, but the lieutenant's there.
Lieutenant's like, look, there was meth, there was oxy, there was booze. Like, everything was going down in this cage. Mm-hmm. The lieutenant then lays on Sarah that she's not going anywhere. So this is the first time it's really addressed. Like, he was trying to manipulate her in the last episode to stay, but this time he's full on telling her, you're not going anywhere. You're still on the city's dime until next week, and you are lead on this investigation. So you're not going anywhere. And he even says, like, you can't leave him, meaning Holder,
right,
on this case alone. And Holder, you look at that,
Holder's
Holder's
thank
like,
you very much.
like, I can handle it. Who's the one putting it all together here? Which he's not. They both are. But he thinks he's putting it all together and it's no big deal. She knows that she is cool, collected, and has it under control. And, yeah. What?
I have to interject
wait.
with the peephole.
This just in.
Okay, this is kind of funny.
Is it a peephole?
Yeah. So I looked at, I Googled it, and then this person had written, not me.
Okay.
What are the small peephole indoors called?
Please tell me it just says peephole.
So he says, I want to install one of those little peepholes in my front door, but I can't remember what they're called. Okay. So he goes on, it's the small lens, that allows the, blah, blah, blah. So
I think it's done with mirrors.
It says the best answer, dude, it's called a peephole.
Well, you've been put in your place.
How great is it?
It's a peephole. I told you that.
Thank you, but it sounds dirty. Don't like the name.
Peephole does not sound dirty.
Yes, it does. My Beavis and Butthead comes out at the thought of the word peep. I can't eat at the restaurant, La Peep.
You can't. Well, you don't like to eat
just sounds dirty.
Marshmallow Peeps.
No, I never did.
I did. Oh, yeah. And you know what? I even had them where they blew them up like s'mores. They put it in a s'more, so you got like
sick.
extra sugar and dye.
Sick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I would never eat that again, but I did when I was a kid. I thought it was good. I had no taste.
Yeah. We've gone so far. We've gone so far off topic.
Well, okay, so we're out of the cage now.
Where are we?
We're at the point where...
We're at Ruth.
When
she follows them into the... Okay,
and
so Darren, Jamie, and Gwen are walking into a men's room.
Right.
Trying to escape the press and sort of regroup.
Yes.
And Ruth, Eutanus, follows them in.
Well, she didn't just barge into a men's room. She looked through the peephole first.
Shut up. And, ew. Then it would be a glory hole.
No.
Because it's...
No, it won't. It absolutely won't. And it won't be a pee hole either. It's none of the above. I just checked D. None of the above.
All my boxes are ticked.
I shouldn't have made the joke.
So she's irate.
She's
irate
him
because he lied to her
about lying to her, right?
And she pulls her endorsement.
Wait, she has a great line. She goes, he says the police ask him to, and she's like, "You're an idiot." She goes, "Doesn't this remind you of anything? Ever hear of Chappaquiddick or Chandra Levy?" Okay, I forgot the Chandra Levy thing. I forgot
about her too.
Which apparently everybody did, except for the writers of this show. But Chappaquiddick, we all know what that is.
Yeah.
Or at least all of us our age and older know what Chappaquiddick is.
Or have heard of it.
Right. I doubt
I've heard of it.
Uh-oh.
It didn't happen when we were alive. Did
what?
Chappaquiddick?
I think it did.
It's the Kennedys, right?
Yes.
Wasn't that in the 60s?
I don't believe so. I believe it was early 70s. Do you know?
I was a toddler.
Yeah. I was a toddler.
Whatever.
It was Ted Kennedy, and he crashed his car into the Chappaquiddick. Yeah. Not in The Brother. It was Ted Kennedy, and he had like a woman with him, a secretary or something, and she drowned, and he did not. It was a miracle. Mm-hmm. Okay? Thank you for attending my history lesson and my English lesson on what a peephole is. And we're back to the show.
And Chandra Levy was Clinton. or somebody.
No, she was somebody.
Oh, no. The guy,
The guy.
the blonde-haired guy.
Hulk Hogan.
The one who looked like... Oh, this is going to be a bad one.
Uh-oh.
The one who looked like the one who...
There's this guy and...
Sleep Number commercial. What? Marianne Mobley, who is married to Marianne Mobley.
Marianne Mobley. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm moving on. This is the... Oh my God, you're Googling again.
I have to Google Chandra Levy because I just did the worst.
Welcome to the Rob Southgate Show, where I'm going to do this while Martha Googles everything.
I just can't help it. They just had too many in this one.
I'm going back to the show.
The people really was not their fault.
Ruth pulls her endorsement.
Okay.
This
Gary
is a big
Condit.
thing.
See, he looks like the guy from Marianne Mobley's husband.
Who? Gary Condit
Gary
does?
Collins. Doesn't he?
He does.
I see. I totally rule.
He does. You do rule.
I kind of do.
Can we get back to... Are you sure that's who it was?
Well, they made a reference. Yeah, Gary Condit.
Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So we can Google it later and find out what the story is, but let's get back to our show. People are listening, hopefully.
I doubt it. Okay.
So now we see Sarah and Holder, Lyndon and Holder.
We're out of the men's room.
Yes, we're out of the men's
room.
And
we're at the cage again.
Yes, and the principal takes them into the room.
Into like a storage room.
Right.
It had shelves and all kinds of cleaners.
It's where the other side of the peephole is.
Yes.
And she says, this is a janitor's closet, and they say, well, who would have had access to it? And she says, only the janitor.
Yes, she and the janitor are the only ones who have keys.
Right, and it wasn't her.
And it clearly wasn't her. And she said, and so you can see the peephole from that side.
Right.
Looks right at that makeshift bed.
Right. So that is really a gross scene.
It's just...
Like, the whole thing is just horrible.
It gets worse.
Yeah, it sure does.
But that's the precursor.
Yeah. Now we're back at
Stan and Mitch's.
Stan and Mitch's, yeah. And Rosie's brother is, there's just a weight hanging over this family, obviously. And the brothers...
Mitch is lying on Rosie's bed in the fetal position.
Right, and the brother...
facing the wall, and he's just
standing there
at her.
watching. Yeah, it's just tough. And then he walks out, and Stan is attempting to make dinner. I mean, he's got to feed the kids.
He's trying to do something.
And he knows that Mitch needs her space. She needs to do what she's doing. So does he. Yeah, but I
have a little trouble with this particular scene.
I
get better as it goes on because she starts to function a little bit.
But as you know, when one is down, the other one is up. In this case, she's devastated. Mm-hmm. He had his emotional outburst when he was at the scene of the crime. That's where he fell to his knees and was crying. Now he's saying, I got to keep things going so that she can regroup. Mm-hmm. So I don't have a problem with that at all.
No, I respect him for it, but I'm just saying... I'm having
a
little
problem with Mitch.
A tiny little one, just in the beginning.
You should get black robes and a white wig because you're so judgy. You were being judgy about Mitch.
So, yeah, a little bit. Well, when I'm not distracted by the sweater, judging the sweater, I'm judging Mitch. No, but not only in this. Just in this scene, because I didn't realize at this point that it was going to shift.
You know what? We are not starting that grief support.
No, I would not be
talking about.
No. Come on, dude. We really, get up and help him. He
doesn't know how to make anything. He says the kids want chocolate chip pancakes. He was going to just make tuna. And then he says, they're like, you don't know how to make chocolate chip pancakes. He goes, they've got the instructions on the box. We'll figure it out. You know what? That is such a...
That's a dad thing.
A dad thing.
Yeah.
My dad, growing up, his big thing, whenever he was going to cook, was he'd made pancakes.
Mm-hmm. My dad, too.
That was the thing.
What did I just say? My dad also. Well, I don't know what I just said.
I don't know.
My dad do.
My dad do.
I was speaking French.
Really?
My dad also... he made some...
It was pancakes.
Yeah, he made really good pancakes.
And then if I remember correctly, my dad would leave all the dishes
mess.
from the pancakes for my mom to clean up because, he was making the pancakes to give her a break, but there's only so much of a break you can have. So that's just how it went.
Nice.
It is. So I have a feeling Stan's going to do that same thing because he's just being a dad. Why don't I pull these tricks? I'm a dad.
She was doing the dishes in the next scene.
She was.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Well
Hilarious.
played, Stan.
Yeah, so he got her back. So I feel a little better.
Okay. Redemption Island.
Okay.
I don't know where were you
Well,
at.
so then the one son, they're working on the pancakes and they're kind of having a positive moment, a little bit of
Sure.
of levity. And the one son asks, "How did Rosie die?"
Oh my God! Again, just like
it's so
it's
awful,
so
and you
painful.
know that they're just trying to understand.
the kids are trying to process.
But he doesn't know. They haven't been told.
What do you mean?
At this point, they do not know how she died.
Oh, right. I thought you meant the kids didn't know.
None of them know.
Right.
And so
the kids know that she died though because they had that thing on the beach.
They know she died. They don't know how she died.
Right.
And so
they don't know either, other than he knows she was in the car, and I'm sure he didn't tell the kids she was in the trunk of a car.
No, and then the other boy says, "You don't have to talk about it."
Right.
But
To
it's
the dad,
already
to
been
Stan.
said. It's already out there.
Yeah.
So even if he doesn't talk about
it's
it,
going
it's
through
just
Stan's
already
head
there.
over
yeah.
and over and over. Yeah.
So that very difficult scene clearly for many reasons.
Man.
And
okay.
my next thing I wrote was, "We are way past 24 hours with the sweater." I literally wrote that on my notes.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's just a little too much brown for me.
Okay.
I need some color.
Okay.
I didn't get it. I got a slightly better sweater on this next one, but
Well, throughout the show, we'll be
she
seeing
needs a little color.
what the sweat. Not so bleak.
With all the rain and everything, people, come on, fuchsia, give me some, give me something cheerful.
I think in her
I don't think she'd look good
position-
in fuchsia though.
Well, and I
take that back.
Okay. And I have no idea what fuchsia is. It's like a pink.
Hot pink.
It is. I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say purple or pink, and I went with pink. I would have won.
Nice.
Yes. What is pink? I even said it the correct way for Jeopardy. Awesome. Tell me where we're at.
Yeah, because you
I got lost. Tell me
You
where
got
we're
lost
at.
in this one.
Well, I know what.
Sarah asks Holder to stop pretending he has a BS meter. Remember
No,
that
wait, where
scene?
are they? Yeah, I do. Were they? Oh, I know where they
They're
are.
outside.
They're outside. They're walking up to where the janitor lives. They're going to go looking on the janitor. And she said a couple of really good lines in here. One was, she said, assumptions are your enemies.
Yeah.
I thought that was a really
Well,
good
because she
line.
said, that's right after, because she said, stop pretending you have a BS meter. And then
Yeah.
he says, well, why do you think I have that or something? I don't remember I didn't
Yeah, I
write
don't
it down
know.
exactly. And then she said, because you dress like Justin Bieber and you eat pork rinds.
Yeah. No, yeah. That was good. That was the other one I had written down that was a funny line that she said. But I love what she said, assumptions are your enemies. I think that line is going to be something important to the series. Because I think that if this is foreshadowing, he's going to be making an assumption that is going to be incorrect and it's going to cost them somehow.
Yeah.
So I think that line right there was really important. She's trying to stop him from making assumptions, and we're going to see some backlash from that at some point. At least that's my
So
assumption.
it's a setup.
Wait!
Oh, I talked right over
Thank
it.
you. It was my assumption.
Assumption.
Yeah. Yes.
So they go to the janitor's mom's house or apartment.
Yeah, they go to the apartment. It's really a lovely neighborhood. And
Are you being sarcastic?
yes. And his name is Lyndon Johnson Morales. And they go in and they knock on the door, and the mom comes to the door. She is blind, right?
Ish.
Well, I think she
I don't
is
think
because
she's entirely blind.
well, they kind of, she keeps saying, and she doesn't speak English really. She just keeps saying, Lyndon, no Lyndon, no Lyndon, and because she's blind, Holder kind of gets talking to her, like confusing her, while Sarah walks behind him and she goes into the apartment. If the woman wasn't blind, she would have seen that Sarah went by. So I think she is blind.
I'm not sure she's entirely blind.
Okay. Why? You know what? I don't know.
She might be legally blind, but not.
You know what? Maybe in a future episode we'll see her take a test and we can find out. Maybe at some point they just drive her to an eye doctor and they can go, you know what? She's 80-30.
She might have just had cataracts.
Okay.
Real bad or something.
Okay. Do you want to contact the producer and ask him?
No.
They'll go, what character are you talking about?
I don't feel that she was, I think she was looking at him. Yeah, there were elements of, you know.
But I don't think she saw Sarah slip by there.
No.
So Sarah starts going through the...
But she's
podcast is going to take 4 hours. We can't seem to get
Sarah's
past
wily, though.
the first page.
She gets past people that aren't blind.
She's wily.
She is. Okay.
Yeah. She goes back in there and she finds the room that Lyndon is, it's his bedroom, you assume.
Yeah.
And she goes in, she's like, Lyndon, you hear? Nothing. It's the police, nothing. She starts looking around. You see his lovely chair that has his dirty magazines around it.
Yeah, and it's like, it's teenager cheerleaders.
I wrote down the name because I'm going to subscribe for Christmas. It's called Nasty Cheerleaders.
That's sick.
Oh, no, I was gonna ask for it. Is it sick if I ask for it?
Wow. You have a daughter.
Oh, way to throw
I'm
that
just
in
playing
there.
that card.
I'm just talking about how gross this whole thing was. And the fact that he has
that.
that magazine. Yeah, like, I'm going to get that magazine. What, are you kidding me?
Just saying.
Oh, gross. It was gross.
Yeah, it was.
And like the chair.
Especially knowing what happened to Rosie. And then, this is just beyond sick.
This is what this guy's deal is. Lyndon, I'm sorry, as she's standing there looking at this little scene, in the back behind her,
it is so frightening.
A figure starts to come into focus in the dark. You know, obviously, that it's the janitor.
Yeah. And he wants to hurt her.
It was scary.
Clearly, he wants to hurt her because she walked in the room and she did not. She gave him ample opportunities.
And he's sneaking up.
He's
quietly.
sneaking up behind. No way, that is not going to end well.
But fortunately, she kind of turns around as it's happening. He pushes her down. She kind of deflects. He pushes her down. Then he pulls out a knife and slices her arm.
Yeah.
And then that's when Holder runs in, and the guy. It's crazy.
Holder has a gun on him.
Oh, he does. I didn't remember him having a gun.
Holder picked, and then he's saying, "Drop the weapon, drop the weapon."
Oh, right.
And
you see the knife, and then he just runs and jumps out the window.
He went through the glass. I mean, he literally
through the glass, over the fire escape, lands on the pavement. And I wrote here that they just want to question him. He jumps to his death, but no, he didn't jump to his death.
No,
he jumps. He lives.
Yeah, but he fell 3 stories.
Yes, and then the next thing we see is them at the hospital.
Well, yeah, and Sarah can't talk to him. They tell him, you can't talk to him until after his surgery. And so she's standing there and she looks up and she sees the news report on the TV in the waiting room at the hospital, and it's Darren Richmond.
It's the scene from the beginning of the show,
exactly where he's
getting ambushed by the reporters.
And here is when she's seen him say, the car was stolen, and the cops won't let me say anything more, and you just see the look on her face.
Yeah,
it's so frustrating. Because then they get painted in this light.
It's ridiculous,
and
and it goes again. Like, she tried to do what she's supposed to do. Look, don't say anything. Mm-hmm. We need X amount of time. This is going to mess up our whole deal. And somebody leaked it. It's out there. That was... You could tell she was really frustrated by that. Really unhappy. Because it's really messing with her investigation.
Yeah. And the reputation of the... anytime something like that is maligning police officers, it puts them more into danger.
Right.
Because,
terrible.
Because then, it just gets bad guys irate.
It's bad guys irate. Of course. You know what?
Well, because
you
good
need a
people
bumper
wouldn't
sticker.
hurt the police.
Don't get bad guys irate. Watch your mouth. Don't get bad guys irate.
Don't rile up the bad guys.
Don't rile them up. Those desperados.
Mm-hmm. So Sarah's getting stitches for a knife wound on her forearm.
Yeah, and Holder walks in. He's like,
almost the whole
ew.
length of her forearm. Yeah, he's not much comfort.
He's opening a comfort
Certainly
business.
not helpful. He tells her that the janitor was a pervert. He was arrested previously as a child molester.
I'm shocked.
Indecent exposure. We figured out what a 311 is.
Yeah, we had to look it up. We
It's
Googled.
indecent.
But not during the podcast.
Before the podcast. I almost said after the podcast.
Yes.
We Googled previously.
Yeah. No, we actually did it
interfering.
in the future, and now we've stepped back to record this.
Yeah, so
What was that?
that was my Into the Future music.
That was. It's
So-
into the future.
Huh?
That's into the future.
As opposed to Back to the Future?
Does that have different music?
I don't know. Well, what's the music from the movie?
Got to go back in time by Huey Lewis. And the
Ew.
News.
Okay,
Yep.
yeah, that's not
Newbie
on
and
my
the Newbie?
playlist.
Uh-huh.
Speaking of nudies, I don't know.
No.
This guy.
Let's
okay.
drop the joke.
So he's disgusting. And how the heck he got through that the school background check,
Well, they said that
etc.
he slipped through that whole thing, and he says that's why he ran, and Sarah says either that or he was running because he knows he killed Rosie.
No.
And Holder says nope, he does have an alibi. He was put in the drunk tank.
Yeah, he
At the
was
time
picked
this would
up
have been
on
happening.
a DUI
Yep.
and spent the whole weekend in the drunk tank.
Yeah, so there's no
So
way
he's
he
done.
did it.
No longer
He's
a-
just a gross perv.
Yeah, he ran because the school missed his record. Somehow missed his finding out about his record through the background check.
Right.
And he was panicking. And he figured out he was found out.
Right.
So she asks him to keep an eye on Rosales, and she leaves.
Correct.
She
And
asks
she leaves. She's going to
Holder.
Reggie's. Mm-hmm. She's going to go to the boat where Reggie is with Jack.
Yeah, with her son, yeah.
And she, as she's going there, she calls Rick, the aggressive kisser.
Yeah, he's got a lot of issues.
He does.
I am not a fan.
I thought that he was. I didn't.
You weren't offended by his aggressive kissing.
Well, I didn't. There was something I didn't really care for about him in those episodes, but I didn't really get a bad vibe necessarily.
But you got one today.
But here, totally. I don't. You know what?
Yeah.
I just I don't really care for this guy.
Yeah.
And I know that okay, they've implied that they have been dating for a long time. They've been together a long time, and now they're getting married. And you always hear about how when people do that, if they date for way too long and then they finally get married, how it changes everything and they kind of fall apart. That could be what's happening.
We
here.
dated for 5.5 years before we got married.
True.
And we fall apart every day.
Yeah.
We're just one big train wreck.
We're just waiting for the other shoe to drop.
But it's been 26 years. Well, 21 years of marriage, 26 years.
So old.
But, no, we were just really young.
Yeah.
We were like 4.
4?
When we started dating. That would have been my MO. That would have been my speed.
Yeah.
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 Uh-huh.
Okay.
I got a few from back then.
Got a few.
But this guy, I mean, if he's been with her for even a short length of time, he would understand who she is,
yes,
fundamentally.
And that she this murder happened. They're going to manipulate her, and she's going to be stuck. He's going to know that. And I actually didn't dislike him. It wasn't until the end of this scene where she's telling him about this, that she's saying that she's going to get stuck there. He's obviously upset. I thought, he's acting kind of a jerk, but you know what? That happens.
A baby.
But then she says, "I love you," and he just hangs up.
Yes.
You know what?
You're a jerk.
It's the week before your wedding.
Yeah.
She's obviously stuck in a really bad situation. Even if you're being a baby about it, you don't leave her hanging with an "I love you" and just hang up.
And if they haven't even ordered the flowers or done anything for this wedding, really, you can postpone it.
Right.
Because clearly you have nothing ready.
Right.
So what is this? It's just
Yeah, I don't know.
formality.
I don't know.
So
Not a fan.
I wrote down he's a jerk and I don't like him. That's what I wrote for that scene.
You know what else I wrote?
What?
He bought her the sweater.
Oh, no, I really don't like him.
Yep.
Yeah.
I knew it.
So Sarah goes on Reggie's boat, and
Right.
Jack is asleep.
And we learn a little bit more. Like, now we clearly see Reggie. We hadn't
Yeah.
seen Reggie except at a distance before. Mm-hmm. We also find out that she really, loves Sarah and Jack. And
Yes.
she's like, you're my two favorite people in the world. I get a couple extra days with you. That's, the greatest.
And she says, Sarah says, the fresh start will be great. Mostly she says it for Jack, about Jack.
Right.
The fresh start will be great. And Reggie looks at her and says, then what's holding you back?
Right.
And she claims it's work. But I'm not buying it.
Reggie's not
there
buying
is no way. Reggie is totally not buying it.
Reggie knows that something's up
She
here.
does not want to marry this guy.
Right.
And she's either doing it for Jack,
Right.
or she's doing it for some other reason, but there is no way that she's into this guy. And
Right.
there's no way that she really wants to go through with this. And so she's going to get a shower, which thrilled me. And
When
she
you did say it, you said, "Oh, please change the sweater."
Loan her some clothes.
Yeah.
But she got in Jack's bed and fell asleep
Right.
immediately. So
Yeah, before Reggie, because Reggie was just going to get towels, she turns around and Sarah's asleep.
which we could understand because she's been going forever.
Yes.
Nonstop. So she ate and she slept and all is well in Sarah's world, except for that jerk Rick, the aggressive kisser.
Now we see Stan. And he's standing in their garage. We know it's their garage. At first, I thought it was his office.
I thought he was at work.
Nope.
I wrote Stan is at work.
I started to write that, and then I scratched out.
I was wondering
it was their
how he
garage.
got home so fast.
You know how you knew it was the garage?
I didn't.
The pink bike was in there. Rosie's pink bike. It was that same garage.
See, and there's the pink I've been asking for.
That-
A little bit of color.
Yep, it was that same garage where we saw Mitch have the conversation with Lyndon and Holder when
Yes.
they saw the bike. Same thing. So yeah, he's standing there, and of course it's pouring rain, and he's just standing there. This is his alone time. He's trying to get grips on this. He sees the newspaper. He grabs the newspaper. The headline of the newspaper is...
Well, you jumped over Mitch.
That's okay. It says, dead teen found in Richmond campaign car. And this is the first he's heard about that being from the campaign, right? At the same time, this is like what they did at the beginning of the other episodes. We've got the scenes interspersed,
Yeah.
and what we see Mitch upstairs.
She
The phone
wakes up.
rings,
Yeah.
and the answering machine goes off, and it's Rosie's voice, their message.
She has recorded their message.
Yes.
From before.
And Mitch goes out and she's staring at the phone, and then the next thing we see is she's
Then Stan.
and
Then
then we
Mitch
see
is listening to Rosie over and
over, and she's down on her knees just listening to it.
And just kind of holding.
Stan walks in and he's holding the paper, and he just hugs her, and
yeah, he's such a good man.
once again,
I liked. I was good with Mitch here because she got out of bed.
yeah,
It's fine to grieve at the telephone.
get over it.
No, I don't mind her grieving, but
grief by a phone.
you have
there are
to you
rules
have to
this.
function a little bit.
And walking to the phone is functioning.
That got her out of bed.
Okay. All right.
So she had her time, but I'm not gonna see her in bed anymore.
Okay.
I'm so heartless.
You are.
I'm not though. Actually, I really, really, her grief is
all consuming. If she could
suffocating
just
me.
it's something. And if she could just get over it a little bit for you. I mean, really.
She's just really not taking my feelings into consideration.
What is wrong with her? Enough, Mitch. Wow.
Yeah.
Now we see the mayor.
Darren.
The mayor is pushing Darren Richmond around, basically. He tries to get him to quit the race. he says,
He's just trying
look,
to
if
get in
you,
his head.
he's
big
bullying
time.
him. Yeah, he's like, hey, if you quit, this is you're not going to get past this. If you quit, then run again in 4 years, and then you'll have my full endorsement. And Richmond's not going for it.
Yeah,
He's
okay,
like,
so you're going to have 4 more years.
but it was at this point that I started wondering, is the mayor involved? Because he is playing these dirty kind of
Is
politics.
he involved, or is he just an opportunist?
That's just it. I don't know, because
We're not supposed to know.
you
Otherwise, they
could
would've
say
told us.
yes, he's just an opportunist, but I could really see, especially if this guy is mobbed up or whatever, him not being directly involved that way, but him authorizing, like, we need to make something happen, steal his campaign car. This will end the pressure of Richmond.
But they're going to kill a girl?
Yeah.
All right.
Maybe it went south. Maybe it went in a way that they didn't expect.
I think that maybe the kids did it on accident, and then the one, Jasper's dad for sure is connected to
what?
To people. He's big.
Well, yeah, he's like a big lawyer or something.
He could have told them how to get rid of it and you steal the campaign card.
Oh,
so
you're thinking that he has knowledge.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but oh, yeah, we don't know if the campaign car was stolen before she was killed.
Right. But if it was...
But Dad said, what did you do this time? Remember when he slapped him across the face? What did you do this time? If he knew that the car was stolen and all that, he wouldn't have said that.
No, but if he... Well, no, but he could have been doing it to save face.
Oh, true.
So that he doesn't look guilty.
True.
He can't walk in acting like he knew and supported his kid. He's got to look like, no, we're estranged. I wouldn't help him.
Yeah.
But he could be connected to the mayor, the dad.
Which I'm sure we're going to find out he is.
But,
or that he's connected to Richmond.
But I'm just saying.
Because he could be connected to Richmond. We don't know.
So that I thought immediately of the father. I didn't think of the mayor as being direct.
Yeah, I didn't think of the father, but I was totally thinking that the mayor has knowledge or is somehow involved.
The Eccles kid, no, because those parents don't seem to have any power, and they're not involved in his life. But the other kid,
the parents have
is
some kind of
quite
power.
Coddled.
Well, we haven't even talked about Eccles yet. Spoiler, way to jump ahead.
Okay, so Sarah's got the yearbooks from the principal, and she calls Holder, and they're going to meet up.
Okay.
So she starts to leave, and Darren is in the hallway and is mad about the leak. And he asked her, did you guys, is this you? Did you guys leak this? And she said no. And he realizes once again it's something coming from his office.
There's a leak, right. Yeah, he knows this is going on, and here's one more example of it, and it's really damaging. Mm-hmm. Now we see the teacher again, and I wish we knew the teacher's name.
They just call him teacher.
They just call him teacher.
And the way I wrote this, it looks like feather. So it took me a few seconds to realize
the feather is
the
man.
feather is man.
So the teacher is in class, and the students are completely ignoring. There's a group of
they're just kind
boys.
of out of control.
And there's a group of boys in the middle of the room, and they're looking at a smartphone, and they're listening to music. It sounds like on it, and they're just not even listening. And he gets really ticked off, grabs the phone, throws it in the desk. You get this back at the end of class.
I thought they were watching a video.
Yeah, I didn't know what they were doing.
Because they were looking at it.
We
if
know
they were
they're
just
watching a
listening
video.
to something, then they wouldn't be staring at it.
Yeah, we know they're watching a video now, but whatever, I wasn't thinking video. I just saw them doing this thing. He was mad. I thought, okay, tensions are high because this is broken. They know that Rosie was killed, and it's affecting the school. And the teacher's trying to say to the class, like, there are going to be grief counselors here today, and if you need to talk to somebody.
Yeah, he's trying to talk
also
about
kept thinking that he was turning into Sister Mary Elephant, and it was going to be that.
Shut up!
Yeah, but unfortunately we didn't get that. But I'm thinking about Sister Mary Elephant now.
And there are probably 3 people who know what that reference is.
Well, hopefully Cheech and Chong listen to our show, because they would know.
Okay, so that would be 4 of us that would get the reference.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dead air.
Sister Mary Elephant rocks. So Sterling gets up and leaves the class, and then Jasper runs after her but can't stop her.
Yeah, and she goes tearing out of the building.
So knowing what we know from towards the end of the scene, what do you think this is about? Sterling,
well, I'll tell you what I think.
Sterling know
I think she knows.
what happened to Rosie?
No.
Do you think she knows that they
I think she knows
were
that they went
involved?
down to the gate.
Is that code for something?
The gate? What's
they
it
went
called?
to the cage.
The cage. I don't know. I think she knows that they went down to the cage and something happened. But she doesn't know exactly what happened. Although, now that they're dead, she's probably assuming that they did it. And she can't say anything, and she just runs out of there. She doesn't want anything to do with these guys. And she doesn't want to be, implicated in any of this.
No.
She needs to distance herself, and that's what she's... This is her friend that got killed.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't think that she necessarily
She certainly
knows.
spent a lot of time on her own, calling around and trying to figure out
Right.
where she was and asking people.
Right, she was
if
texting
she
her and
knew,
stuff.
I don't think that she would
So, yeah,
be
I
doing
think that... But I think she suspects these guys.
Totally.
And that's why she just, get me out of here. And
But I also think she realizes the threat.
He's also guilty, no matter what, he's guilty of something here. So that's why he's like, when she runs out, he's trying to keep her in check. Like, whoa, 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 where are you going? Because he's probably in panic mode too, because he knows something's up.
Mm.
So this is playing out. It's really interesting. Once again, we don't know if they did the killing, but we do know that
they did something very bad.
some very bad things. Yep.
So Sarah shows up at the hospital, and Holder's talking on the phone. This
was important.
a very disturbing scene for me.
Yeah.
What is he up to?
Right. Well,
and is it bad? Like,
we're
is
making
he
an
a bad
assumption. Yeah, we're making an assumption that it was about Sarah.
It was about Sarah.
We're making that
No,
assumption.
it was about Sarah.
We're making that assumption.
You're making that assumption.
And we are making an assumption that he could be a bad guy when we don't really know what that was, but he did act guilty.
He says, I don't care, I'm not going to do it right now. Give me some time to ease in. She's not stupid. So what is it that they're asking him to do?
Well,
who's the one asking? I mean, maybe it's the lieutenant, and he's trying to get her to stay.
True.
Or something like that. It could be something harmless.
True, and he's trying to get Holder to manipulate the situation.
And he's saying
he's manipulating
stupid.
Holder to do it.
Yeah.
Could
it
be.
Could be. I don't know. But
I just wrote in big letters, what's that about?
Yeah, I'm going to be sad if Holder's playing her.
Yeah, I don't think he is, but I think there's something up there, obviously, because we just saw something was up.
Otherwise, they wouldn't have put it
But
in
when
there.
she comes back in the room, he does act guilty.
Oh, yeah, he does. And she says...
And she knows there's something up because of the way she asked the question. When she's like, oh, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. And she goes, no, I meant about this. When she said, no, I meant about this, it wasn't like, she didn't have a surprised look like, oh, no, I'm just talking about this. It was like, she was baiting him.
Yeah.
To see if he'd be guilty.
Because she knows, and he was.
So she knew something was up there.
She knows that he was talking about her.
So then he tells her that the janitor is out
Rosales is out of surgery. Conscious, but doped up. No visitors.
Right. And he says that he's going to try and schmooze the nurse on staff there.
Yeah.
Because he goes, I think she has a crush on me. Mm. And she's like, go do your magic. He goes in, he starts talking about how, hey, remember, did I ever tell you the story about I had pica when I was 5 years old?
Okay.
That was really funny.
I had mild pica when I was pregnant, and I would eat 9 trays of ice cubes.
Right.
In an afternoon.
Right.
And my midwife would always say, okay, we just have to be careful that you don't eat dirt or laundry detergent. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to eat laundry detergent or dirt. But but that was such an nobody ever talks about pica, and so the fact that that's what he throws out there, and he said he had it as a kid, he probably had it from lead poisoning or something, which would explain some of his behavior now.
Yeah, true.
But
yeah, that was funny though. I thought that was
very
great.
funny.
And then she sneaks out. Sarah sneaks out while he's doing this,
which is why
pica talk.
I say she's wily, and so that woman might not have been blind.
She is wily.
Sarah just knows how to do this.
So she sneaks in to talk to Rosales.
I just gave it a name.
You know what? And I wrote Rosales, but I think earlier I called him something else. But it's Lyndon.
Call him
we'll go with Lyndon, or the janitor. I'm going with the janitor. So then she starts asking him some questions. He is trying not to look at her. She's telling him, "We know why you ran. We know the real story.
That's not why we're here.
Yeah, we need help with something else." Mm-hmm. She holds up the yearbook and she.
Well, first she held up the picture of Rosie on Halloween,
right,
in the wig, and she said, "Did you see her
through your
down
peephole
in the cage?" And then he said yes, and then she held up the yearbook picture to Jasper, and he said no.
Right.
And then he pointed as the nurse came in, a different nurse came in and was saying, "You can't be in here." He was quickly poking the picture of Chris Eccles to get it said before they kicked her out.
Right.
So he was
trying to help. Say, hey, so it was this Chris Eccles kid.
He redeemed himself a little bit here.
Right.
You know, because he made a good choice. And then he said, El Diablo.
Yeah.
Hence the name of the episode.
Right. Hence the name. Did you go, woo? Because he said the name of the episode?
Hence the name.
That's it. Woo!
I didn't write hence the name, but I thought it.
You thought? Knowing you, I know
and
you
I
did.
And I said it. More than once. So Darren is with us.
We're back at campaign headquarters.
There you go. And he's with his staff giving a pep talk.
Yeah, he's trying to rally the troops. He's trying to comfort them, telling them we're going to be fine with all this.
Take a deep breath and stay the course.
Right. And they kind of wrap it up and clap, and he leaves and sneaks out to go talk to Nathan, the private investigator.
Well, no, but first Jamie and Gwen have PR strategies. Right. That they want to share with him to try to fix the issue. What they're doing is putting up. They're not smoke screens per se because they are legitimate campaigns that he's working on. But they're to try to.
It's a political move. It's public relations. That's what they're doing.
They're just trying to distract and get everybody back on, onto more positive.
Correct.
Topics.
Correct. But he leaves.
So he goes to
to talk to Nathan, and Nathan says, "Hey, I looked through all their emails and I found nothing." He's talking about Jamie and Gwen, and he's like, "I found nothing." And he says, "But I did find this," and he has some file.
He had the email, the email that leaked Ruth's endorsement.
Right, and we still don't find out who it is at this point. We just see that Darren now knows who it is, and our assumptions last episode were right.
Yeah.
But we'll get there. Now we're back at the precinct.
Yep.
And
this was where I first noticed the new sweater.
Oh.
She might have had it on earlier, but I didn't notice it until this scene.
Welcome to
And
Sweater
they're talking about, I promise I will stop at some point.
Please.
I can't help it. The last one was really just...
You know what? I'm going to like their podcast that they do about us, and they're going to talk about your clothes.
I don't go on video for that reason.
Because you're wearing this... It would clash with her sweater. You're wearing the same sweater right now. I'm creating an illusion.
No, everything I wear has food spills and things on it.
It's quite the picture you're painting.
But you know what? I'm not on TV. If I'm on TV, I'm going to pick a better sweater.
Yeah, and wash your hair.
I wash my hair every day.
Touché!
I went through that one phase.
Well, they never went to dreadlocks, so that's a good thing.
No.
That's called you had a newborn. That's that phase.
No, actually, it was like a year ago.
Well, yeah, okay.
She was 5, but whatever.
Now she's in that phase.
Now she likes to be dirty.
Dirty.
We got the dirty kid, like in Big Daddy. All right, so
Holder is is talking about what they know about Chris Eccles.
Oh, yeah, and he said he's a meth dealer, a skater punk, and a runaway.
Yeah.
And Jasper's best friend, which was a big...
That's a big revelation there.
That's a big one. And,
although I kind of assumed it, but this is where, now we know... We're starting to connect these dots with these guys. And
according to Holder, the janitor was the only witness.
Right.
Sarah wants to talk to... Oh, no, it might not have been Holder that was saying all this, was he? It might have been the lieutenant.
Right. I think the lieutenant was saying it. Then the lieutenant said that he wants Sarah to talk to the
He wanted Holder to talk to him.
No, he didn't want Holder to talk to him. He said...
We're mixing this all up.
He says you need to talk to the Larsons. And Holder said,
I'll
do it, because he's trying to jockey for position here. And Sarah... And the lieutenant says, no.
No, Sarah says, I want to talk to Rosie's parents.
Oh, right.
She sends She sends him to
Holder to talk to Eccles'
family. Eccles family, and he says, okay, boss.
Yeah.
So he didn't say it as snidely as I'm saying it. He said it more friendly.
But yes.
But still, you're getting that point across that she's peeing all over.
Right.
And she's the alpha dog. And he's thinking... All right, I'm never gonna be equal or top.
Right. I'm just waiting for you to move.
Yeah.
So as he starts to walk out,
or
she
is
stops
he? Because we don't know what he was talking about.
Yeah, we don't know what that was. But she stops him before she walks out, and she spots something on that tape that they had from the dance, where they had Rosie, and they were looking on it. They were like, "We're not seeing anything with Eccles on it," and she says, wait a minute, and you see somebody dressed like the devil with a mask on
El Diablo
walk into it, and it's El Diablo.
Yeah.
El Diablo, Chancho. So that's what she sees. So that's actually, now we know that this Chris Eccles guy was at the dance.
And that's how he got in.
So now
they
we're
kept saying, how are
there.
they getting in the dance? But they got in with masks on.
Yeah. Then
once again, not great security in that school.
No, not very good.
They can't. Oh, wait. We didn't know that the janitor was a child molester.
Yeah, we didn't know that they had a mattress with...
Yeah, and we didn't know that this kid who had been kicked out of the school came in and he was wearing a mask. Really? How are we supposed to know? He had a mask on.
He had a mask on. He had a ticket?
Yeah.
No, we don't take tickets.
Really, right. So not a real...
secure building,
and it doesn't make the parents, I'm sure, feel very confident in leaving their children.
I would say not. Now we see Eccles
skateboarding around.
Yeah, and he goes up to a dumpster and he garbage picks a newspaper, and it's got a story about Rosie being found dead. Now, once again, we don't know. Does he know something?
Yeah.
Is that why he's looking at this? Is it just that he knows, oh man, I was with her that night? We don't know, but he is...
I think he knows how they hid it, and he was probably trying to make sure that things were going the right direction.
It could be.
And it was pointing at the campaign.
To what degree he is involved.
Right.
So it's pretty interesting. Now we find we're back with
Darren and
Gwen, and he tells her...
Well, they're watching the mayor's press conference.
Right.
First, on TV.
Okay,
go ahead.
Okay, well, I don't have anything about that.
Because... No, but that was kind of important.
Okay. But he tells her that he knows who the leak is.
Yes.
And he hands her the document, she looks at it, and immediately they know it's Jamie.
Yeah.
And...
Or is it?
Well, right. We don't know actually for sure, even at the end.
Right.
But here it's, indicating that it's Jamie. Jamie walks in, starts,
And it's awkward.
Yeah. But he doesn't know it's awkward. He just starts rattling off like he does every time he shows up. Here's my strategy, here's this, here's that. And he suggests sending flowers
to the
Larsons.
Was a great line.
It was a great line. He says, the mayor, Darren says, we're not sending flowers. Flowers die.
I never would have thought that. Now I'm going to be paranoid. Anytime someone has a death and I want to send flowers.
It's so true. I thought about it for, the next couple minutes.
And it's going to kill all those flower places that make all their money on funeral.
I don't think it put them out of business.
I think it should.
I don't
because
think it
now I'm going to start spreading it because you know what?
What?
I never thought of that before, but flowers.
Now it's in my head, and I have to spread it like manure around the world.
And make sure that no one ever again gets flowers.
I imitated you kind of like you were Simon Bar Sinister from Underdog. That's right.
But
Underdog.
you know what? I think I'm off it. I'm off that soapbox now.
Okay.
I'm already over it in 5 seconds because that's just his
well, right,
impression.
because he just went through some death thing, and he's like death obsessed. He's listening to The Cure.
But what I'm saying, he became
next time we
emo.
see him, he's going to be emo. Yeah.
But what I'm saying
is, have the same haircut as Chris Eccles.
What I'm saying is that for one person that might represent death, but for another might represent beauty or life or whatever. And
for me, it represents my hobby. I love drying flowers.
Why
Can
would
we
you
talk
want to
about
dry
that?
them?
I don't know. I just know that's a thing. I have no idea.
I'm moving on.
Please do.
Mitch is in the kitchen doing the dishes because Stan made all those pancakes.
Yeah, right.
And then left her all the dishes. The doorbell rings.
And it's Sarah.
Did she look through the peephole?
No, they didn't have a peephole that I saw.
We don't either.
No.
Do you think we
get
should?
one.
I might have a bad dream if we have
But
one.
you're too short to reach it.
Well, we'd have to put it in the middle of the door.
You know, your other thing, the other thing you're gonna...
People would be like,
look at all
why is your peephole all the way down there?
Why are you looking at my navel?
Would I still, do you think I'd have to just say, can you step back?
Lean down.
Could you just go back out towards the sidewalk? And then I'll be able to see your whole body.
Oh, Rob, it's you.
And that'll give me time to run.
Yeah.
When it's somebody that wants to kill me.
You're right. But you'd have to put a peephole at the back door so you could see
now
if it's safe to run.
Now I'm having a bad dream.
Even though there's a big, glass.
We have a window.
There's a window on the door. And really, right next to the front door is a giant window. So
I don't
really
look
need
out
a
the window.
Peephole.
When
You could look out the window.
No.
Yeah.
I don't like any of this conversation. No. Just to have no one come to my door ever.
No solicitors invited.
No one.
No
Unless I know you're coming, don't come to my door.
But what if somebody shows up 1 minute before the person you know is coming? See?
Crap.
Doesn't work.
Oh my gosh.
Doesn't work.
Okay, so so the doorbell rings.
The doorbell rings.
And it's pouring rain.
She curses that there's no people.
It's pouring rain.
She opens it up.
Miserable rain.
It's Sarah.
It's Sarah. She lets her in.
And she sits down with Mitch and Stan. And she tells them how Rosie died, that she drowned. Once again, we're back to awful. I almost wanted to fast forward over it because it's just
so painful. It's just, it's crushing.
Yeah.
Stan says that they had to find out about the councilman from the papers. He was not happy that that she didn't come to them and tell them about the car.
Is, it's easy to say, well, she should have said something. They need to know. But on the other hand, her job, she can't.
Right.
And it's just a really tough situation for everybody. But he's also not happy that no one's been arrested. Well, because he asked that question.
He wants to know if the councilman is the one who did it.
Right.
And
he wants to know if anyone's been arrested. And she's
the car was reported stolen, so they can't prove that he did it.
Then she starts to ask questions about Chris.
Yeah.
Did she know Chris? And turns out Chris lived down the street
when they were and they were friends when they were kids.
Right. He does reveal a little bit here. He does reveal a little bit here about. It's basically Chris's story. The same thing we heard from Holder, that he got involved with drugs and, who knows what happened there. But they moved away and we haven't really seen him in years. Okay? So he doesn't really know the current situation.
Well, and he says, why are you asking? And she says, we're looking at anyone she ever met.
Yeah, we cast a wide net.
Yeah.
We're just trying to figure this out. Huh?
I left that part out.
I like that line.
I did too, but I just didn't want to use it.
Okay. Well, you didn't.
I'm glad you had your opportunity.
I used it.
Dan
then,
said he was a good kid.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because he doesn't know. And
But, yeah.
then Mitch wants to know if Rosie suffered.
Well, no, first Mitch dropped a glass and it shattered all over the floor.
Oh, right.
And
then she asked, did Rosie suffer?
And Sarah said that they thought she was unconscious when she went into the lake.
Yeah, and I really hope that that's true. I don't know if she said that because it's easier for them to think that.
Yeah.
Or
sure.
if they really believe she was unconscious.
No, she wasn't unconscious because she tore all her fingernails off clawing to get out.
But did she claw before she drowned? She could have been clawing at it as they drove in the car. She passed out. They threw the car in the water, and she drowned.
In the one episode when they dug the car out, they said that she drowned.
Right, but it didn't say that she was digging at the thing.
I think she was.
Okay.
Even if she was unconscious, I would think she would come to once the water started to drown her.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're gonna have an answer to this. I think we're going down a rabbit hole that we're not going to solve.
Like one of 50 today?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Darren was playing basketball, and they're trying to showcase his All-Star campaign.
Yeah, and it's a PR thing. It's once again he's doing a campaign. He's got to do PR constantly.
Yeah.
And he has one for what was it? Homeless people or
All-Star kid. It's like All-Star.
Yeah, like midnight basketball in Chicago.
Yeah.
Like that thing. Yeah.
So the press is only interested in the murder, though.
Right.
And Darren tells Jamie there's a leak, and he says Jamie was saying, well, everyone's playing both sides.
Right.
And now
so once again, he's kind of, if you go along with what was said about Jamie before, you're like, yeah, he's saying that.
No, I don't think he's the leak. I think he said it
either.
Innocently. He said that as if...
Right, but he's painting himself in that way. And it's playing right into the idea, but I don't think it's Jamie. I don't know if it's Gwen either.
I think it's Gwen.
No, I don't know. I think that might be too obvious. There might be somebody else who did this and got them going against each other with this. I don't know. I just don't know.
Maybe it's Ruth.
Why would Ruth?
Because then her husband got the thing.
That makes no sense. That makes no sense. Oh my gosh. Okay.
It was painful, that one.
That one was really bad.
That theory was bad. Okay, Eckel's mom is
Holder is sitting
Holder.
down with Eckel's mom, right. And she says she just doesn't want to know what happened
Well,
this time.
she said he started using drugs at 13, which was scary. That's so young.
Yeah.
He started with pot, and now he's into meth.
Right.
And Holder then goes to the skate park, and this guy comes up to him, and Holder shoos him away, and then a teenage girl comes up, and that's when he makes his kill.
Right.
Like, this guy knows how to play.
Right. Well, he was
girls.
narcotics, so he knows that scene.
Yeah, and it's very scary as the mother of a daughter of a girl.
Right.
It's so scary to think how vulnerable these girls are, and how easily they get trapped.
Right. And he totally knows how to play it.
Yeah.
And he's sitting there, just like in the last one, he's sitting there smoking pot.
Yeah.
And they're all walking up like, oh, can I have some? And he just shoos them away. This was really interesting to me because I wondered, how is she not calling him out on this pot thing? He gets in the car. She obviously knows. And he says, relax. It's narc scent. Tastes like weed, smells like weed. It's not weed.
No, it doesn't taste like it. It smells like it and it looks like it.
Oh, okay.
But it isn't.
Right,
so
right.
That's why he doesn't give it to them when they ask for it, right?
No, because he gave it to the two girls at the soccer field.
Oh, so they just kind of
right. It's just they're
like
not going to get
placebo.
Right, they're not going to get high from it. Well, and also on the side of his cigarette it says, "I can't believe it's not pot." So,
high five.
No,
high five me on that one. That was good. That was a good one. Chris is a regular, so she said he'll be here. They have to wait.
What? right. She says that Chris is a regular at that skate park.
So he'll be here.
You jumped on from the high five to that, and I got lost a little bit there.
Well, you know what? You were sitting there in your glory.
Yes.
So they have to wait in the car, and after all that talk about the smoking, she grabs the gum.
Right.
So
and you're totally right.
On that.
When she did it, I even said it out loud because I know you're right now. She's quit smoking, and that's like Nicorette.
Yeah.
Or something like that. I didn't want to.
Gum.
Yeah, I didn't want to. Product placement there of Nicorette because they haven't done it. That's the only one I know. What she should be smoking a blue cigarette because that's something that they do now. Maybe they didn't have it when this was filmed.
No, this was. Did you see the clothes?
This was kind of like a public. This was my public service announcement.
Announcement?
Yes, brought to you by Truth. Thank you. Truth.org.
Oh.
Thank you.
So Jamie has a way to get Ruth back.
Yes.
Her plumber husband needs work.
Right. Right. And she can't give it to him with her big complex she's putting in. But he can. But Darren can. So that's a really good plan. But after he lays out his plan, they lay out Jamie by telling him.
Well, Gwen does. Which is why I am.
Why you think it's her? Yeah.
Not sure about this one, but she tells him that they know he's the leak,
and he completely claims his innocence.
Reads it. He's like, "What is this?"
And actually, I thought that it was.
She wrote it.
I think it was truthful that he was.
I did too.
Innocent.
I don't think it's him.
Because there was a point where there was no reason for him not to flip his cards and just say, "What did you want me to do? This ship was going down." He didn't say that, so he was not.
No, I don't think it's him
leaking it.
Sarah calls Jack, her son, and she tells him that she won't be home again for dinner. Work is dragging on and on. And they have to keep following these leads.
Right.
Holder said that he didn't have dinner with his mom, and look how he turned out.
Right.
Oh, yeah, that's not sitting so well.
Yeah, no. And right then, Eccles shows up.
Yep.
And they get out of the car, and let's just say Holder gently roughs him up a little bit.
He grabs his skateboard and throws it.
Yeah, he tosses him against the wall.
He said, you gave her bad drugs, she OD'd, and then you freaked out. That's his theory.
And Lyndon calls him off.
Yeah, she makes some stuff. And then Holder yells, and your mom says, hi, dickhead.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. He's got the lines.
He does.
Okay, so now we cut back. Things are kind of cutting quickly here. So they go back and forth between scenes. We see Darren Richmond, and he is implementing Jamie's plan.
Well, Ruth shows up angry, and then he says, sit down, I have a proposition for you.
Right, and he throws this out there, and she's like, oh, you're, political now. You're playing games.
Yeah,
and he's like, look, this is how this has to be.
Yeah.
And she doesn't accept it, but we don't see if she accepts it.
Yeah.
But she is definitely seeing that he is playing.
Yes, he's hurt. He wants to win.
Now we cut to
just back down.
Teacher.
The teacher's watching a video on the cell phone.
Teacher, the phone makes that weird noise or whatever, and he picks it up and he hits it, and the video starts up, and you see a look on his face like there is something on this video. Yeah. And right then I knew, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's going to be something dealing with that night.
Yeah.
And that's when I knew it was a video that those guys were watching. Before that, I hadn't realized that.
Yeah. And then Eccles attacks Jasper.
Yeah, he shows up at the school and attacks Jasper, and he says they know.
Yeah, Jasper, of course, didn't.
Right.
But Eccles says they know.
Right. And then he skates off.
A pretty big.
And sitting 10 feet away are Holder and Lyndon, and they didn't see any of this.
Yeah.
They're sitting right there, and then she gets a call
from the teacher that he's got something.
Right, that he's got something.
So now we go back to Stan and Mitch. Stan calls the boys for dinner, but Mitch is in there. So
Mitch is up. She's walking around.
This is good.
And she comes in and she's like, "Oh, you're making chocolate chip pancakes
again."
Yeah, he's doing that again.
Yeah. He tells Mitch to go take a bath, which, he's a very sweet man. And he's saying, go, just go relax and whatever. I don't think it's probably the best idea to tell your wife to go take a bath the day you find out your daughter drowned.
Right. Probably not the smartest choice, but it's what happened.
One of the boys...
Tom. I actually wrote this kid's name down because he said it. Tom is this son, and he's setting the table, and he sets a place for Rosie.
Yeah, and
he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And Stan says, "No, you go ahead and leave that."
Yeah.
You know, because he knows they have to grieve. They have to come to grips with this. Why not set a place for her?
And you can't pretend like she didn't exist.
Right. You don't just shut it off like, "Oh, nope, she was never here."
Right. And Mitch is in the tub trying to imagine what it was like for Rosie.
Oh, this is terrible, too.
I mean, her grief is just overwhelming.
Oh.
And it just...
And they're all just sitting there waiting for her. They're sitting at the table waiting to be a family.
Yeah.
Trying to get past this moment. And she's in there taking her bath, and she tries to experience what Rosie experienced. She holds her breath.
I don't
she
think
goes
they're
underwater.
waiting for her.
Yeah, they were. She goes under the water, and then she loses her air, and she jumps up real quick, and is like gasping. And she wasn't trying to kill herself. She was just trying to share that experience to see what could this possibly be like. And then she just sobs. It's awful.
They're not waiting for
Yes,
dinner.
they were sitting there. They were just sitting there.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they were waiting for her. The pancakes are going to be cold. She has a history of staying in places for days.
There was a shot of them just sitting there.
I think they were just pondering Rosie's plate.
Okay, maybe they were. I would have been
I get very upset at the thought that the food is I
would have been into those pancakes, so you never have to be upset around here.
I don't think that they were.
And I also would have made a much bigger stack of pancakes.
And I think it would have been pretty crappy if he had said, "Go take a bath, go take care of yourself, do what you need to do," and then we'll be sitting here waiting for you, so you have a time limit.
Maybe
it's not.
Maybe that was a little manipulation, a little passive aggressive behavior
he's not.
by him.
Stan is not passive aggressive. You jerk! Don't you dare say that about Stan.
No, he's not. No.
So Rob, take it back right now.
Okay, I take it back.
So then the video is of Jasper and Eccles with doing very, very bad things to Rosie, which we will not.
Yes, but we see this, and it's
they're proud of it. And
it's terrible, disgusting. And you see Eccles. No, you see a devil head, and then you see the guy pull the mask off the devil head as he's leaving his turn, and it is Jasper. It wasn't Eccles in the devil mask at that moment. Then they trade hands with the camera, they trade the camera, and Eccles enters the picture, and he starts doing his thing. It's so awful.
It is. It's beyond sick.
And at the same time, I realized, and behind these two guys is Lyndon watching through his peephole.
Yeah.
Yuck. So this is just a scene, frankly, I don't want to be involved in.
Yeah.
Ruth.
We find out then Ruth gave him the endorsement.
Gives the endorsement.
Then the Stan and the boys are eating. See, Mitch is in the tub.
Sure,
and they're eating. See, I proved
they got tired of waiting.
They weren't ever going to wait. They were just pondering the moment. They were just breathing.
We come to the end here, and Sarah is sitting in her office, and she's watching that video, looking for clues, looking for things, because she found the devil in that one. She's trying to see what I didn't see. And that's how it ends, with her just sitting there watching this alone. Really, really excellent.
Yeah.
I am very anxious to get to the next episode. Mm-hmm. And I have a feeling we're going to be saying that for the next, what would it be, 27 episodes or so? That we're going to be that anxious.
This show.
It's so
I didn't know I was going to love it this much.
And we haven't even gotten to what you're going to go crazy over, from what I understand. Because we haven't seen the Mulder-Scully love bloom that is coming.
We got to get rid of Rick.
Yeah, well, he's an aggressive kisser. He's going away. He's going to be left to his own devices with Blois, the blow-up doll.
And I don't want Jack with him. I don't think he's a good man.
Okay.
To be raising Jack.
Well, and he bought her that sweater, and that's
no, I have a feeling she picked it out. I forgive her. I forgive her. She just wore it a little too long.
Okay.
I could have handled it the first episode, but 3 episodes in, I'm not gonna. I don't want to ever see that sweater again.
Okay, it's kind of like on Big Brother when they have only the one set of clothes to wear, or Survivor, they have the only thing they have on them, and they just keep wearing it. And at some point, you just get sick of it.
That has never offended me like this sweater has.
Maybe if it had been big sweaters on Survivor.
You know why? I think it's because there's so much rain.
Philip's
and
pink
that
underwear
sweater
bothered
cannot
you.
smell good when it's wet.
Philip had pink underwear that bothered
Oh,
you.
God, that was gross.
See? I knew it. There was something that bothered you.
Lots of things bother me.
Are we done?
I know, I love this show.
Are we done here?
I love the show.
Well, we're going to wrap this one up.
Go ahead.
So, real quick, I'll just run through the business. You can follow us on Facebook. Please do. Please like us on there. Just search for The Killing Podcast. Like us and share that with people. We'll do updates on there. You can also follow us on Twitter at The Killing Pod, or you can follow me personally at R Southgate, where I talk about our other shows and other projects that we have that are going on. Okay, you can find all of our podcasts and all of them for this show as they post on our website also, which is southgatemediagroup.com. So original when we keep talking about Southgate Media Group. We named our website after it. So original. And I think that's it. Was there anything else? Find us on iTunes. Find us on Stitcher. Give us 5-star ratings. Write reviews. Put it on there. We really need that. That really helps us out. There we go. That's it for the business. I am calling it. So, for The Killing Podcast, I'm Rob Southgate.
And I'm Martha Southgate.
And that's it. Next time we find out, well, I know we don't. I guess we just have to ponder who killed Rosie Larson.
Who killed Rosie Larson? Oh, man. And what's a peephole?